Hey, this is Tom Walsh, IDW's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle writer, and you have jumped inside the pool bag.
Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the Back Issue Classics are also what's in The Pull Bag.
Very well. I have my own mutants. Bebop, Rocksteady, destroy them! Oh, with great pleasure, Master Shredder.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is Back Issue Classics, episode 62 for Back Issue Classics. I'm, of course, Steve, joining Mike, and joining me is Joe Reed again. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well. I was not sitting in my seat and almost didn't sound good on the mic because I was looking for an action figure to pull off my wall to play with hand candy while we do this. There was a while we were doing video podcasts with the off-the-cuff guys, and invariably my desk had action figures on it, and with the little webcam, I would try very hard not to smile while I was doing it, but I'd animate the little character peeking in and picking noses and things, and no webcam now, but I'm there in spirit.
Yeah, it's like my other buddy Michael Wilson. We do the Phineas and Ferb podcast that's coming up on GEEK-STUFF radio, and he has this full body punching bag kind of thing. It's not a punching bag; it's more like a boxing dummy. I don't know. And he sits there and he punches the damn thing every break we take. Oh God. Anyway. So we're here. It is Bebop and Rocksteady, Destroy Everything, number 3. We're 3/5 out of the...
Yeah, is it 5 or 6? I hope it's...
Yeah, it's 5. It is 5 because it's 5 Wednesdays. Issue number 3. It's got 2 covers this time. The main cover is done by Nick Pitara. The subscription cover is done by Damian Cicero. I believe that's how he says his last name. I don't know. The story is done by Ben Bates and Dustin Weaver. The script is done by Dustin Weaver. Art on pages 1 to 3 is Ben Bates. And then Damian Cicero is the artist for pages 4 to 20. Colors are done by Bill Crabtree. Letters by Sean Lee. Obviously, Bobby is the editor. So, Bebop and Rocksteady, Destroy Everything. This issue number 3 is both it doesn't read like Shakespeare, but it is very Shakespearean in the fact that this issue is both a comedy and a tragedy all at once.
I read this, and I don't remember this assessment, so I'm very excited to look at this again.
Well... the first page here, you get the 4 turtles, because we pick up where we left off in Rio. And the whole top panel here is Mikey, wait, just wait. In the car, that was, yeah. And in the other car, that was, yup. And the human guys, you got me. Okay, cool. Just checking. I'm totally fine with that. Wait, no, I'm not. And they sit there and ask her Annette if they took them to the crazy verse, and she says, please, would I ever take you guys there? And then Leo's like, I can't believe she actually confirmed that there is such a crazy verse. And then my assumption from the first episode, or from the first issue that we did, way back when, is that yes, Donatello is the narrator for this story. And Ben Bates, Dustin Weaver, you guys are killing it. Because Donnie's like, as I said at the start of this story, this could get confusing. So while I explain this to my brothers, feel free to take your own notes. On the other hand, if you think you get it, skip ahead. It's your comic. Read it backwards for all I care.
I have a feeling that you'll be able to read this backwards and it'll still make sense. I think there's gonna be something that happens that it all comes back to the beginning.
Pretty much. So Donnie does his best Doc Brown impression. And tries to explain the whole timeline thing, extra-dimensional thing to his brothers. Raph's not really having it.
Mikey's falling asleep.
Yeah, Mikey's falling asleep. Leo's just like, can we get on with this already? And Renette, she just, Renette. So as we continue through here, we do run into, because this is the, if I'm reading this right, this is
2016. They've accidentally gone back to a parallel reality, a parallel now that they accidentally created in the past. And Savanti Romero is in the actual 2016. They're in this alternate, so they can't get him here. And so her time scepter is kind of calling them back to, she says, 2012. Like, wait, that's where it all started.
Yep. And that's why I said it's kind of a Back to the Future 2 alternate 1985 kind of thing. So, Stock Gen 2012, where it all started, we have Bebop and Rocksteady basically destroying everything. All of them?
Yeah, this is the Stock Gen Labs where April was working and the Turtles were in the cage together.
Yep.
And they were also working on all those other mutants at the same time that we didn't know about back then.
Yep. Well, we kind of knew about one. A little bit. Didn't know much. We knew of him, and we'll see him later, but this is what I love and hate about the IDW time traveling. I've already said this in the past 2 episodes we've done on this series, is that they go back and show us things that we haven't, like, we've been recording these things for years now at this point. We recorded the first issues way back when. And this time travel stuff is taking us back to those events and showing us different things, different versions of what originally happened. And I am so friggin' scared to see what happens at the end of this, if the timeline is really going to be as polluted as Bebop and Rocksteady are making it out to be.
I think they're going to fix it. I think ultimately that's going to be the victory, that they do restore it. But at the same time, like Renette said, they are creating these alternate timelines. I mean, I don't think they can unexist. I think everything has actually happened. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Crisis on Infinite Earths and all that.
Oh, please. The last thing the Turtles need is a Flashpoint paradox. Really, seriously, I mean, come on.
This is their Flashpoint paradox.
God, yeah, sad but true. So we get Bebop and Rocksteady in mutant and human form. Basically, they all start arguing. Is essentially what happens. And they run into April and April, that's Lindsay, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it's been so long since, I mean, I know we just recently saw Lindsay last year in Mutanimals, but
Mutanimals, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been so long since I had seen Lindsay in this incarnation. I'm like, oh wow, that's Lindsay.
And April's carrying a tank with our 4 baby turtles in it, and the turtles and Renette jump out of the time tunnel, and oh my gosh, look at what it is, April, this is going to sound bananas, but it's us, it's Leo, Don, Mike, and Raph, it's us from the future, how'd they get so bad? And she faints, getting caught by Fugitoid, who's not Fugitoid.
Chet. Yeah. Which is, you know what this scene reminds me of? Reminds me of, I should really learn to dream about Harrison Ford.
I just realized something about the goggles that Donnie is wearing. Those are most definitely goggles from Splinter Cell, the video game. I don't think those are actual night vision goggles.
No, probably not. I'm surprised they don't have a duck hunt gun in this thing. So, April faints. Bebop and Rocksteady create more havoc. They actually attack Fugitoid or Chet, and that's going to cause a whole bunch of problems. And I love the art in this. Cicero's art is really, really cool. I mean, just the panel on the page where Bebop says, "Oh yeah, well, blow this dweeb pod." Just the way Bebop looks is just so friggin' badass.
Really good line work on that panel and the big one at the bottom that I enjoy quite a bit.
Absolutely. So you got them fighting everybody, and I love the line. Is it? No, it's Raph. Raph's, and it's only Raph could get away with this line. When did Bebop and Rocco get groupies?
I don't think they figured out that it's pre-mutated Bebop and Rocksteady.
Well, Leo does, like in the very next panel. But when I read that line, all I can think of is not modern, but Rocco's mutated life. So we get more of the battle from all the Bebops and all the Rocksteadies, both the mutated versions and the human versions, which is really, really cool. And as it goes along, we have a huge surprise. Before he got his black bandana, this is before anything intelligent ever came out of him. We get Slash, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, Slash. And I love Bebop's line because he assumes that it's one of the other turtles. He doesn't assume that it's a completely different character. He's like, "Whoa, did that little turtle just transform into a more badass turtle?" I love that. And did you notice the thing in the bottom right-hand corner on that page?
The little TCRI containers that are plugged in.
It just says CRI, but it's TCRI.
Because they're plugged in, I think, to the...
Yeah. I noticed that, and I was like, oh, boy. That's awesome.
Disposed.
Active.
We're experiencing our own little time paradox, because I don't know when people are going to get to hear these, in which order.
This will come out next week, and the commentary would have already been out by then. So, they've already known.
All right.
Yeah.
We need our own Bobby Curnow to keep our timelines straight.
If we had our own Bobby Curnow, if we had our own, like, alternate Bobby Curnow, he'd probably just drive us into the ground with his evil ideas. Awesome, but evil ideas. And we, like you mentioned earlier, we get to see a whole slew of different mutants from the 2012 timeline. We only ever saw Slash. We never got to see any of the other stock gen experiments. Now, what do you think of these guys?
I think this is cool, and I wonder how many of these are characters that I know or that we've seen before but I don't recognize. Because Wingnut and Screwloose are here, with metal wings and all. There's something that looks like a cockroach, and I don't know if that's a cockroach Terminator from the animated series. I don't get that reference for sure.
Right.
There's that gold dragon looking thing, and then that kind of looks like Fish Face. He's got water gills on.
Yeah, kind of.
But it's not. I'm just Wingnut and Screwloose showing up. I hope they eventually show up and join the Mutanimals, because I think I don't want them to change the Mutanimals team, but it would be neat to see a bigger team with the original guys in it.
Oh, absolutely. And then you've got the Rock Soldiers coming in.
Where are they coming from? They're coming through a time tunnel, aren't they?
Yeah, I
Kill the
don't know
intruders, stop them from stealing General Kang's precious ooze. So they somehow are attacking Stockgen looking for their ooze.
Right. Raph's like, more... It is Raph, right?
Looks like Mike.
Okay, it is Mikey. More bad guys. It had to be more bad guys. And then the cops show up. Party's over. We have this giant kill them scene where somebody ends up going through a time tunnel at the end of it. And, oh no, I know what it was. The time tunnel opened and something shot out of... Oh, yeah. Because as soon as I got to the next page, I'm like, oh, yes, thank you. You wonderful turtle people. You didn't do anything evil to that one character. Because if you had, I would have flown to San Diego and beat you all up. So something comes flying out of the time tunnel here. And it bonks Bebop in the head. It's Pepperoni! Now I want a separate, at least 2-issue, 3-issue miniseries of what the hell adventures Pepperoni had when she went the other way in the time tunnels from the last issue. Oh, God. Again, folks, these guys just tug at the heartstrings both ways, good and bad. So let's see here. We've got more of the battle, more of the time tunnel stuff. We got...
Yeah, the Bebop and Rocksteady are looking at everything going on and saying, this is crazy, this is too much of a problem. Hey, I know what to do. And Bebop starts opening time tunnels and shoving people into them. So there's a pile of rock soldiers and the fish dude. The cockroach guy gets punched in one. Slash gets punched in one.
And who's the guy?
I don't know. That's not
precious sea mutants. What are you doing to them?
If you love him so much, why don't you marry him? And he kicks it's a seahorse and this scientist guy.
And some rock soldiers and some of the cops, and even April gets mutagen all over them.
The panel that said one of the cops saying it burns is really disturbing. I'm like, that really upset me, especially for what happens 2 panels later.
Yep. Oh, and Fugitoid tries to save April, but she ends up going through a time tunnel apparently. And this is why the last page. I'm gonna kill you all. I swear. If this ends up the current timeline future of you guys are dead to me at IDW. Oh my God. So might as well. This issue already came up. By the time this podcast goes up, this issue's already been on a week, so we're just gonna spoil it anyway. That mutagen must have expired. Those guys aren't turning into cool mutants at all. Let's blow this popsicle stick. Oh, gross. This dump's got rats, too.
And they accidentally stepped on...
No, he didn't accidentally my ass. Bebop just killed Splinter.
No, not on purpose. He's just running toward the car, and he squelches. Oh, no.
Because when they get to 2012 Stock Gen... we see that April has the turtles in the glass jar and all that, but she doesn't know. They say that Splinter's off, doing whatever.
Yeah,
so
he didn't
I
have
was
a
not
cage.
expecting Splinter to even show up, and then all of a sudden, Bebop kills him. And I'm like, you bastards. You sick, sick bastards. Oh.
That's the sign for me that it's all going to get fixed eventually.
The Splinter's death is a good sign for you that it's going to get fixed eventually. Great. We end on Renette basically telling the Turtles we are so getting out of here and we're going to the 79th dimension. And the coolest thing about the ending, and I really say that ironically because Splinter in this timeline is dead, is the ending note. To be continued next week or last week, who knows? Issue number 3, like I said, is both comedic and tragic at the same time. It's comedic, all the stuff with Bebop and Rocksteady. It's comedic for Donnie's narration. Like he actually pulls 2 different 80s film characters out of his shell. He does a Doc Brown, and his narration directly to us, the readers, he's basically Ferris Buellering us. And it's amazing. But this better get fixed. Because I was just dying inside after I read this.
Well, did you read the ongoing?
59.
Yeah, we haven't covered it yet on the podcast.
No, we haven't covered 59 yet, but I did read it, and still, that's what I want to know from Bobby, and maybe I'll shoot him an email. I don't know yet, but as of this recording, I have not done that. But it's one of those things where how much of the time traveling here is going to affect the main ongoing.
I'm going to, and I don't even think I'm going out on that skinny of a limb to say that it won't affect it at all.
See, that's, yeah. I mean, like...
So when I say they're going to fix it, I mean they're going to go back to the moment Bebop and Rocksteady got the first scepter the first time and punch him in the face and take the scepter away. And then everything will be undone.
Let's hope. Because, again, I thought only James Roberts only killed people in IDW books over on the Transformers More Than Meets the Eye book. It's like, oh my god, like, oh god. And I know you said it's Bebop running and he just kind of stepped, but it's still... You got Rocksteady potentially killing Donatello in issue 44. And then obviously Donnie comes back. Obviously. But now you've got the other of the duo, Bebop, killing a non-mutated Splinter, and I'm just like, my heart can't take this. I'm going to end up in the hospital over a comic book, and this is just crazy. Issue number 3 was amazing. It really, really was. And it's getting harder and harder for me not to give each of these issues a 5. It really, really is. So what are your overall thoughts of issue 3, and do you have any predictions for where this might go in issue 4?
I have a feeling that they are going to solve it in a way that is not the way that I just explained, where they're going to go back and just do the simple thing. I think they're going to be much more creative about it, because, hey, if the reader can predict the ending of your story, you're probably doing it wrong. They're a lot of fun. These are great issues, and it's a neat way to really, potentially in the next issue, we're going to see things and versions of our turtles that we've never seen before, versions of our characters that we've never seen before. But I need to still mention, I just read an article by somebody out there on the internet that's calling what IDW has done with the Turtles the definitive version of the Turtles. Mm-hmm. And they're talking comics, movies, cartoons.
Everything, yeah.
And I know that you and I told Bobby that. And he, no, we just like to think we're building on what's already come. We're not doing anything different. And some days somebody will come around and do it better. And I appreciate how humble they are, but they really are working on something special here. And even these weird little side books that don't affect the main, but kind of do, but kind of don't. They're brilliant. Yeah. They're a lot of fun.
And then plus you got to add in what's coming in August, giving us more work.
Yeah.
TMNT Universe, which is all the other side characters, and figuring out what that's all going to be. with those adventures. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I agree. I mean, as of right now, and I have not seen a lot of. I've seen 1 or 2 episodes from the Nick cartoon series, season 4. So I haven't seen a lot of that right now yet. I want to kind of go back to it once the season is kind of already done. That way I can just watch it all at once. But it's one of those things where I can't not say that the IDW comics are not the definitive version now, because to me they are. Anything that happens in these books is like it's law. It's TMNT law.
It's utterly brilliant stuff.
Yeah, it really, really is.
I don't know. It's hard. There will always be a special place in my heart for issue 1 of the original Turtles. That one issue is a masterwork. It's a masterwork in art and in parody and in homage in those areas. You're hitting all 3 of those with the Turtles, and they had no idea what they were doing at the time creating that. But I think there's that innocence that's captured in that moment. They're just, you can tell that they're fans. So that will always hold a special place in my heart. I mean, even more so than the original cartoon, which I grew up with. I just don't attach to that thing anymore because it doesn't hold up. But the IDW Turtles, I'm reading this as an adult going, I can't believe that I'm a 35-year-old man reading this and like totally getting into it. And I think this series is a testament to what has happened with popular culture, that the people like you and I who grew up in the 80s and 90s are now old enough now to have jobs producing the content. And not only producing the content, but being the executives just slightly above their heads producing the content. I mean, that's who's designing our Transformers now. That's who's making our Voltron cartoons now. That's who's writing these Ninja Turtle comics. And it's just a wonderful time to be a geek, and I hope that this wonderful time does not end.
Yeah, I mean, you and I cannot. They've proven their worth, obviously, but I have absolutely zero questions. I mean, I have questions for the IDW people, but like, I'm not going to question any direction that they go in with any of the books that they're doing for Turtles, because it all is so story-based, and it is all just so awesome, and it all connects at some point or another. So, just absolutely awesome. Next week, or whenever the hell...
before you make that announcement, guess what? With this issue, I have filled a short box with IDW comics. I have to close this one and buy a new one before next week. That's it. That includes the whole series with 15 or 20 multiple covers, maybe fewer, and the miniseries are all in here. I haven't gotten Bebop and Rocksteady in there, so interesting. But I'm putting 1, 2, 3, 4, the last 5 issues in the box. Interesting. So cool.
Very cool.
As you were, sir. Sorry.
So next week is the penultimate issue. It's issue number 4 of Bebop and Rocksteady Destroy Everything. After a fight, Bebop and Rocksteady split up and travel separately to different time periods. The Dark Ages, World War II, the future. No time period is safe. If they're splitting up, that's going to be a whole hell of a lot more destructive than they are when they're together.
The interesting thing is going to be who ends up with the Time Scepter, and where's that going?
Yeah, it's true. All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for this episode of The Pull Bag. I'm not sure what's coming next. It could be I Hate Fairyland number 3 and 4, or it could be Bebop and Rocksteady number 4. I'm not too sure just yet, because I've only ever done this once in The Pull Bag, where I did something so unbelievably crazy. I ended up having, for Batman's 75th anniversary, I ended up having 13 episodes in 1 month.
Yikes!
So
that's a lot of recording.
I'm kind of with this whole 5-week event thing with Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm also recording other episodes. So essentially, what I've done is I've made Tuesdays, TMNT Tuesdays, and seeing as how Bebop and Rocksteady are musical styles, I figure, hey, most music drops on Tuesdays. Why not? So you're gonna get a TMNT episode on Tuesday, and then you're gonna get another episode of whatever on the regular Wednesday of the pull bag. But yeah, oh god, July, I can't get here fast enough so I can slow down. I love IDW. I love the Turtles. I love all the creative people. But oh my god. Of course, it's my own fault that we're even doing this. But hey, what are you gonna do? Got to find some way to have people listen to this show. So, all right. This is going up. When is this going up? This is going up the. Let's see here. It's going up the 21st. When is GEEK-STUFF garage sale?
25th. So yeah, please join us if you're in the West Michigan area on Saturday the 25th. We have 21 vendors at the Geek sale. That's like 2/3 bigger than we ever have been before. But we'll have all sorts of vintage toys, video games, action figures, movie memorabilia, posters, already said video games. We'll have it all. Come out, check us out, hang out for the day at Big Kids Games on Plainfield Avenue in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And you can check us out on the Facebook too, facebook.com/GeekStuff Garage Sale.
Awesome.
I really ought to write a script for that, but you know what? I'm not
That's
that
okay. That's cool. Well, how many times a year do you guys do the sale? Not like
two or
twice?
3.
Yeah.
If I can manage, I'll have an indoor one pre-Christmas.
Right. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here inside the Pull Bag. Please follow the Pull Bag on Twitter. It's at the Pull Bag, or head on over to facebook.com/the Pull Bag. You can also follow at GeekCast Radio on Twitter, or like us, facebook.com/GeekCast Radio Network on Facebook. I am at TF2 I just have to sit back and collect my thoughts, folks, because if they don't fix this, if they don't fix this, I will get a plane ticket and go to the IDW offices in San Diego, because that's just so wrong.
Well, you're going to be halfway there pretty soon. You should totally go there and harass them. Or at least visit the studio. They have that museum tour.
Yeah, that would be awesome. So, make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next week.
Woot!
Oh, we was just starting to have fun.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.